Today we are revealing the top 10 most expensive Pokemon cards of the modern era in 2025. Modern and vintage gets thrown around a lot these days, so for today's video's sake, we are calling the current era that we're in and the past two eras modern. Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet, we will be looking at all of your favorite top cards of each era. Which one of these eras has the most expensive cards of this entire space that we're in right now? Is hype of a set more of a price factor than the age of the set? We will answer this and more while we look at the top cards of this modern era, but first I need to address the 9 to 5 Timmies real fast. With our boring 9 to 5 work lives, it's nearly impossible to find product in this unprecedented time. And then when you go out and hunt for product and falling short every time, it really starts to weigh on you and make you rethink your position in the hobby. Luckily for us Timmies, the sponsor of today's video, PokeNotify, can help us save time and money. This exclusive Discord community alerts you when Pokemon restocks and drops occur by monitoring hundreds of sites 24/7 all across the globe. And today you can join the Discord for free for a 3-day trial and get 25% off of your first month by using the code FACTORY25 at checkout. Stop going in solo against the bots and the scalpers. Take advantage of this great tool and save you a ton of money and avoid the frustration. All links needed is in the description below. At number 10 we have the Lillie Alt Art from Ultra Prism. The Lillie is coming in at $478.39. A month ago it was $482.26, and a PSA 10 this thing is coming in at $1,600 with a population of 1,124, so pretty good pop count there, like as far as like being low in that perspective. That's pretty good, and it's actually had quite a bit of pop in the past 3 months. So this Lillie card is the most expensive trainer card of the modern era that we're looking at today, from Sun and Moon to Scarlet and Violet. This card there for a while was really moving. It kind of has settled down a lot since, you know, it feels like Scarlet and Violet has kind of taken over the past two eras. As of right now, I fully expect the Lillie to probably just keep on going up because it is hard to pull. Ultra Prism's starting to get up there a little bit in price, but the Lillie adds a whole nother, you know, layer to it all. It seems like as a whole, Sun and Moon, the trainers have done really good in that era. So I look for the Lillie to keep on climbing, and other trainers too, honestly. Like I said, there's a bunch of trainers in the entire Sun and Moon era. At number 9, we have the Sylveon Alt Art from Prismatic Evolutions. The Sylveon is coming in at $507.43. A month ago, which I guess it really has been about a month, I guess, it came in at $749, which is absolutely insane, honestly. But I guess the initial hype on Prismatic pushed that up that high. And a PSA 10 is coming in at $2,000. Obviously, we do not have a pop count on there, so I don't know how I feel about that 2K, but honestly, it doesn't surprise me at all, just from this card being so really hard to pull. And, you know, just the times that it's taking PSA right now, it feels like it's taking forever. So maybe that has a lot to do with it as well. So I actually love this card. When the set first got revealed, I was like, I don't know how I feel about all these evolutions. Seeing on the high resolution pictures, because we have not pulled this one yet, it looks really good, dude. And I'm not surprised by this. Sylveon seems to be, feels like it's kind of taken the Espeon as the number 2 evolution, honestly, because even in Evolving Skies, the Sylveon's pretty high. So it looks like Sylveon is going to be the closest thing to Umbreon we have, or the closest thing to Umbreon as far as evolutions go. $500 is kind of crazy, but honestly, I think it's going to probably keep hovering around this price unless we get a significant amount of product pumped from Prismatic and people can actually get it. Okay, that matters too, right? Doesn't matter how much product they print if people still aren't getting it. I personally wouldn't buy it at 500, but I'd sell it at 500 for sure. At number 8, we have the SHiny Charizard GX from Hidden Fates. The SHiny Zard's coming in at $517.29. A month ago, this thing was sitting at $469.80. So it's actually had, I mean, you can see from the chart, it's had a little bit of a bounce here. So that's kind of interesting. $832 on a PSA 10. I would expect that number to be a lot more, actually. And there's 7,497 tens in population. You hear a lot these days where people are like, oh, we're so sick of Charizard, we're so sick of Charizard, so sick of Charizard. As I'm making this list and I'm looking through, I'm like, man, there's no Charizard from the Scarlet and Violet era. Spoiler alert there. There's no Charizard card from the Sword and Shield era. The only Zard that really made it is this one. So it's pretty interesting to see that. I don't know, maybe if we're Charizard out, and maybe that's why the prices aren't as high. Maybe that's what it is. But if you look, like, we haven't had a Charizard as a top top card in an era for a long time. I haven't even really looked at X and Y. I don't know if a Charizard is from X and Y. I can't really think of a Charizard that's the best card in the era outside of obviously like base set or something like that. As much Charizard gets love like product and card wise, the prices, they do not follow suit. At number 7, we have the Gengar Mimikyu GX tag team from Team Up. The Gengar Mimikyu is coming in at $521.23. A month ago, this thing was $432.83. Okay, so that thing's actually kind of moving a little bit. I really didn't realize that. In a PSA 10, this thing's coming in at $1,700 with a population count of 1,215. So the pop count's actually pretty low again for a card that's relatively older. It's definitely, these are the oldest of this era that we're looking at today. So, I mean, that's kind of impressive. You know, it's funny, you don't really realize how popular Gengar is until you start kind of looking at prices of Gengar cards. And man, I mean, people will definitely pay for Gengar. You know what's crazy though? Like Gengar kind of gets a lot of love every once in a while. Like we haven't gotten a Gengar alt art yet from the Scarlet and Violet era. I fully expect that to come. You have the Gengar full art, and then you also have even the Ghastly with the freaky Gengar licking the Ghastly's butt. So, I mean, Gengar's getting some love, but so far it hasn't been like the other eras. This is a good one to buy at a PSA 10 price because I think that the 10 price is really low for this card. With that being said, I feel like it's kind of difficult to get 10s in those cards. So at $1,700, I mean, I hate to say that's cheap, but for a card like this, I'm surprised that number is not higher. Honestly, I really am. At number 6, we have the Giratina V alt art from Lost Origin. The Tina's coming in at $674.88. A month ago, it was coming in at $556.07. In a PSA 10, this thing is coming in at $1,400 with a population count of 6,582. So, man, honestly, I actually would have expected that number to be a little bit higher on the population count, and the PSA 10 price is actually pretty much where I would think it would be. I probably think it'd be closer to 1.5 or sitting right at 1.5, but I mean, honestly, that's a pretty decent price. I don't see the hype that's behind this card. I do like it. Now, I will also say this is the first one, I believe, on this. This is the first one on the list that we've actually pulled. So like we pulled this week 1 of Lost Origin being released and haven't pulled a single alt art from that set since. It's absolutely insane, dude. I want the Aerodactyl more than anything. The Aerodactyl is my favorite card from that set, and we pulled this one. Obviously, I'm grateful for it, but I want the Aerodactyl so bad. But this one is fire. It's a nice card. I don't see almost $700 here. That's crazy, but you know, the PSA 10 price makes a lot more sense at 1.4. Like I said, I think it should be really about 1.5. We look in these Sword and Shield, and the further we get into Sword and Shield, you'll kind of see where the population count goes up on these cards. So that one's actually relatively low for Sword and Shield. At number 5, we have the Rayquaza VMAX alt art from Evolving Skies. The Ray is coming in at $744.81. A month ago, holy crap, a month ago this thing was sitting at $554. So this thing has had a really impressive jump. This is by far the biggest jump so far. That's kind of crazy. This is where this card confuses me. I'm kind of confused by this. Raw, this thing is $744, right? A PSA 10 is $946. It does have a high pop count at 10,000, but it's like, you're telling me if you get a perfect one of these, it's only worth $200 more than the raw. And we just seen the raw price shoot up $200 in a month. So I don't know, man. That's kind of weird there. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's something to kind of pay attention to. So as you guys know, Rayquaza, you know, it's my favorite. I love the Gen 3. I will say, you know, at first, I wasn't the biggest fan of this card, but now it's grown on me for sure. I've always liked the Rayquaza V from Evolving Skies more than this one, which is kind of weird. I feel like I'm the only one that had that take. It looked goofy to me at first. I don't know if I could pay $744 for it. The PSA 10 price, like I was talking about, is really confusing. I wonder if this just hasn't caught up yet, but man, at $946, you can snag that bad boy for 900 bucks. I mean, honestly, that's a better buy than buying it raw. I feel like that's a buy now for me, for sure. At number 4, we have the Gengar VMAX alt art from Fusion Strike, and the Gengar's coming in at $749.42, so just a little bit above the Rayquaza. A month ago, this thing was $600.62. In a PSA 10, this thing's coming in at $1,300 with a population count of 8,947. So there we go again, telling me the Rayquaza is only worth $946, and that's not even me being biased, because Gengar is like top 6 for me too. I love Gengar. I even have a Gengar shirt too, so it's like, I'm not just being biased from Rayquaza. That's why I'm saying all this. I don't know. That smells fishy to me. It could be an easy flip, dude, for like 500 bucks in like 2 or 3 months. I don't know. Maybe not, but I feel like it could be. I think this one's going to keep going up. I think this one, as crazy as this sounds, I think people really want this to push the Umbreon from Evolving Skies. I'm not saying it's going to, like, pass it, but I think this thing is going to get close. I think it's gonna get closer. I feel like we're gonna have a little string playing in the background in the market, and I feel like this thing is gonna go up a lot more. I really do think it will, but I think it's just gonna progressively step up closer because that's exactly what it's done. Like, I don't know, it's got a steady climb going. If you look at the sales on PSA 10, they're actually more. I mean, I've seen them getting sold for like 1.6, 1.7. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna pass up the Umbreon, but I do think it's gonna be closer than people think. At number 3, we have the Lovebirds Latias and Latios GX Alt Art from Team Up. The Lovebirds are coming in at pretty much $1,200, and a month ago it was setting at $1,150. In a PSA 10, this thing is coming in at $4,600 with a population count of 1672. The fact that this card is setting at $1,200, a PSA 10 is 4.6 thousand with that low of a pop count. Again, a set that is harder to get than Prismatic, harder to get than Evolving Skies. You're telling me that this card is only $1,200 raw? I don't believe it. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. Hype will outdo age by far, because under no circumstance is either of the other Umbreons should be above this card. There's no circumstance. Pop count is way lower. Like I said, way harder to get because it's a short printed set. Unlike Evolving Skies, it's been printed into the ground. It's everywhere. And Prismatic, which is gonna be everywhere, this set wasn't printed a lot, and it's a lot of money, and the pull rates are hard, and the PSA 10's almost $5 grand. There's less than 1,300 of these, and this is a $1,200 card. I don't know, man. To me, this is my favorite card of the modern era. I love this card. It is absolutely amazing. This is by far my favorite card that's come out. With that being said, the Umbreon hype is real. At number 2, we have the Umbreon EX Alt Art from Prismatic Evolutions. This version of the Umbreon is coming in at $1,568. A month ago, it was $1,700 even, which is crazy. In a PSA 10, this thing is coming in at $3,500. It does not have a population count on it yet, so, you know, we got to take that with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not the biggest fan. Like I said, I think I like the Sylveon more than this one. I've come around on it. We have not pulled it in English yet, but we've pulled it 4 or 5 times in Japanese. It is a nice card. It is a nice card. It looks phenomenal. I'm sure in English it looks even better, and I'm sure it's gonna hit different. You pull it in English and I'm probably gonna scream like a little girl when it happens, if it happens. But again, I just don't see how this thing is worth more than the Latias. I can't fathom this, but you know, it is what it is. This card's really nice. This thing has a huge head start on the Evolving Skies Umbreon too, by the way, which we gotta see. Is it hype? Obviously it's hype, but how long can the hype sustain, I guess is the real question. I mean, you gotta think, the Umbreon was like $300, $250, $300 for a long time, and then with the 500, it was at 500 forever. This thing shot out the gate at $1,700. We got to see what's gonna happen. That's how you know we're in a weird spot too, because I still think the Umbreon from Evolving Skies is a better artwork than this one. At number 1, we have the Umbreon VMAX Alt Art from Evolving Skies. The Moon Bunny is coming in at $1,722. A month ago, this bad boy was setting at $1,500 and pretty much $1,530. Of course, we had the $5 Umbreon where it dropped down here. In a PSA 10, this thing is coming in at $2.5 thousand with a population. This is the one. A population count of 15,252 in a PSA 10, and I got one of them. It's over here somewhere. There it is. It's right there. Holy crap, dude. They were handing out tins on this thing like hotcakes. Jesus Christ. As you can tell, I'm pretty much a disgruntled Latias fan, but I do like Umbreon. Obviously, I have a shirt. Umbreon's on this shirt. It's down at the bottom, but Umbreon's on this shirt too. It's Umbreon and Rayquaza. I love Umbreon. I think it's way better than the Prismatic one. But man, 15,000 in a 10, and this thing's still worth what it is. It's like, holy moly. And I wonder, you know, like, they're handing them out like crazy. I mean, Jesus Christ, all over the place. I don't know, it's like the government's handing them out or something. I don't know, it's crazy how many there is. I didn't even know there was 15,000 of these in the world, let alone in a 10, and that's just a 10. There's like another 10,000 in a 9. It's like, Jesus Christ, this thing was a lot more populated than people think. This one feels more natural. I will say that. This one feels way more natural. Like I said, the Umbreon, you know, 250, 300, 500, 750, 1250. Like, it, I remember when it broke $1,000 raw, and it was a steady grow, like a steady glow up. This one feels a lot more natural. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys got something out of this. I know a lot of people are just getting back into the hobby, so some of these team up cards you might not even knew existed or how much they actually were. Remember, guys, if you're having, you know, problems getting product, you can't find nothing in your local area, you always struggling to beat the bots online, check out PokeNotify, Factory 25 at the checkout. I'm telling you, like, even just outside of it being a sponsor of the channel, it pays for itself with one purchase, especially from Prismatic or even journey together right now. And if you're a good old DGen, you're looking for some DGen friends, a 9 to 5 Timmy, you want to come hang out with some other 9 to 5 Timmys, definitely join the Discord, baby. We have a great time in there. And all product for PokeFactoryShop.com gets dropped there first. So if you want to be a pristine 9 to 5 Timmy, I suggest you join the Discord. The link for that is also below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support. Let's get to 20K, baby. Let's do it by the end of the year. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. PokeFactory out. Peace!